Home essentials may not always be beautiful, but they should be. Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we're talking about even more ugly home essentials that you all have asked me how to make it beautiful, how to upgrade, and how to elevate. I actually selected all of these items from your suggestion in the comments of my previous video, which will be linked in the description box down below. Be sure you are subscribed to the channel and you have the bell notification turned on to get notified every time I upload, and let's get into the video. The first item we are going to be discussing is maybe not the most beautiful, but it is one of those essentials, and that is the bathroom accessories. And it's maybe more of like the toilet accessories, because you all ask me about them and you're like, Garrett, what do you do? How do you elevate them? What should we do with these? Because they're not beautiful. And let me tell you, the moment they're not there is the moment you need them. What I always opt to do is I just get something that has an auto opening and closure that's pressure mounted or something like that, where you can just kind of lift up on your little toilet brush and the little trap door opens, it comes out and it slides away, tucks away, and it's hidden. No one has to see it, but you do know it's there. Because this is kind of that thing that you want to know where it is when you need it, as opposed to it being tucked away or hidden in a cabinet somewhere. Something that it's an essential. It just has to be there because it has to be used, and you're going to need it when you need it, and you want it to be there when you do. You can always find these in interesting colors, in stainless steel finishes, in plastic, in wood containers. There's all sorts of options you have when it comes to these. Maybe look for something that is a container that's easy to clean, something that's maybe ceramic or a plastic. I don't know that I would go for wood necessarily, because it seems like it would be a little bit of like a wood's an absorbent thing, and that's not something I want absorbing around. For me in my home, I actually found a unit that it's a combination unit, and it holds both a toilet brush and a plunger together. They're hidden, they're compact and tucked away, but it's just a clean little item. And I always find that if you don't want something that is style specific to your space, be it decorative or in an interesting container, finding something that matches the walls, the flooring, the tile coloring you have going on in a restroom will help to disguise it a little bit and just kind of blur the boundaries of what's there, what's not, because it may not be the most beautiful thing, but it is definitely an essential and something you do need to have in your space. The next ugly essential that we kind of have to have in spaces, and it's a usability thing, and it's something that always gets lost, and it needs to have a home in a place, but you don't necessarily want to see it, is the television remote. I actually shared this tip previously. What I always do for every home, no matter who it is, in the living room, for example, I'll get a decorative box of some sort and put a television remote in that box. Because you're going to have to go into the box to get the remote, I'm also going to put coasters on the top of that. It ensures that you have to physically touch those coasters to get to the remote. You're not watching TV in that space without touching them. What that means is you are more apt to use them. Having a compartment or somewhere to hide the remotes away from can actually be used as a benefit to you, even though, yes, it is an inconvenience, but that inconvenience can save you in the long run from having ring marks or from drinks or from cups or whatever. And you can do this in accordance with whatever it is in your space you need done or you want used. Maybe it's, hey, I want you to wipe this down, so you put a cloth on top of that box or whatever. I'm having a hard time envisioning what else you would need other than a coaster on a coffee table, but ultimately you know how you live best. What is it that's going to benefit you the most? You can also take and incorporate this idea in a lot of different ways. For example, a convenience feature in the way you live is, hey, if you have to take something with you and you're afraid you're going to forget it, set your car keys on top of it. That way, when you go to get your car keys to leave the house, you're going to see it. You're less likely to forget. It's the same principle and idea. I always like to have remotes tucked away in a specific spot for them because it makes it easier to find them later on. Maybe for you that is a pillow with a pocket you tuck the remotes into. Maybe that for you is a bowl you put them in, or like I said, a box with some coasters sitting on the top. Remotes are not necessarily the most beautiful thing in the world, but they are essential to how you use a space, and if you're going to watch a TV, if you're relaxing in that space, so you want them to be in a specific area where they have a home, but one that is convenient and useful for you. It also will protect them from French bulldogs being able to chew on them, but that's also not the point of the video. The next ugly home essential you have asked me about how to fix, how to change, how to disguise are actually outlets and plugs. These are a major convenience factor and they have to be there. I personally am not offended by seeing a very crisp, fresh white outlet plug, switch, air conditioning unit, vent, whatever, because Just having a fresh, white, crisp look to it tells me that it's new, it's there, there's no point in hiding it or disguising it because it has to be there. But if you are offended by seeing them, there's actually a really easy hack and trick you can take. Something like a vent can obviously be painted to match. You can elevate it if you have a wood trim or something that this vent is in. There are wood frames and wood vents you can get or have custom made to match and fit your space perfectly. But one of my favorite hacks is actually for outlets. There are these really simple and easy to use outlet covers that cover the entirety of the outlet. They basically just have a little hole for a screw and some for your plugs to slot into, and they cover the outlet completely. These can be painted, they could be wallpapered, there can be a lot of things done to these that don't involve you altering your outlet in any way. Because something like painting an outlet to disguise it can actually damage it and become a fire hazard. And I, of course, do not recommend you do anything like that. I also always recommend that if you have a discolored outlet or an outlet that's loose, it's time to change that out. Have a certified electrician come in and do that for you. That way you know it's a job well done, you know it's safe and secure, and you won't have any issues. But these outlet covers are really great because they can be painted and they cover the entire face of the outlet, completely disguising it, completely blending it into the wall and hiding it without having to alter that outlet, without having to have any work done or anything custom done to it. These are very inexpensive and available online, and like I said, they can be painted to match any space. They will be linked in the description box down below. These are really amazing and fantastic if you decide that this painted cover isn't for you. You can get metal outlets that are both in brass, that are in chrome, that are in brushed silver. I've done that before and I love it. You can also have outlet covers wrapped in wallpaper to match your walls. That's always really beautiful and something that really will help to disguise a space. There are wood outlet covers that you can have stained to match your flooring and match your space. That's always something really interesting. Or you could get them and paint them to match your walls. You have a lot of options that are really interesting. And this topic also leads me to today's wonderful video sponsor, Ensenior. Ensenior is a #1 rated Amazon seller of flush-mounted LED lighting. I absolutely adore this company because not only are they providing incredible quality products, but they are changing the game in what they're doing and the products they're offering. Their canless LED lights actually are the brightest available on Amazon. They offer 1,050 lumens using only 12 watts of energy, which is a 110 watt equivalent, meaning you're getting an 88% savings. In addition to them being ultra thin, they're compatible with most dimmers. They dim between 5 and 100%. This canless LED is also IC rated. It's available in 2 sizes, from 6 to 4 inches. 6 offering 1,050 lumens, and the 4-inch option actually offering up to 750. What I love most about these lights is that they actually offer 6 temperature lighting options, ranging from 2,700 kelvins all the way up to 6,000. And Ensenior is proud to represent that they're the only seller on the market currently offering 6 CCT products, which is why I always recommend getting the 16-pack option, because you get the best value for money, but you also have a plethora of these to include in every space in your home. Adjusting the temperature of these lights is incredibly simple and easy to do using a simple switch located on the junction box. This junction box is super slim and it allows these lights to be used over joist, which makes them incredibly versatile. They also offer no flicker or noise, meaning that you can document those memories in your home without having to worry about flashing or shuttering lights in the background. They're ETL and Energy Star certified. They're easy to install and safer because of the UL terminal. And if we're being honest, Ensenior is just about the only company offering this option. Everybody else is still using dated wire nuts. As I always recommend, be sure you speak to a certified electrician to have any electrical work done in your home, but I do love these Ensenior lights and I think that they are incredible. Be sure to check them out in the description box down below. The next ugly home essential that you all have asked me about is actually closet doors. And I know in my home, my closet situation is maybe not the most ideal. I would love to have a massive walk-in closet that was the size of my home, but unfortunately, I don't live in a closet. I live in a house that has to be used. So in my bedroom, I actually have bifold doors, and in my studio, I have bifold doors for my closets. All of the bedrooms, as a matter of fact, do. What you can do to disguise these or hide them, kind of tuck them away a little bit, paint them the same color as the walls. Choose a paint color that is something that's neutral, that's something that's bold, whatever your style is. You know, I love your style and I appreciate it and I want to see you enhance it, but you can actually paint those doors to match the walls, helping them to blend in a little bit and create a little bit more of a seamless space and aesthetic. That way you don't have to look at something that you may be looking at saying, Garrett, these closet doors, these bifold doors are dated, I don't like them, I'm over them. Paint them to match the walls and they will vanish, they will disappear into the background. Paint the trim to match to hide them even more. This is something you can take advantage of that is inexpensive, it's easy, and will enhance a space. It also creates a space that's a little bit more textural because you kind of have something there and it's hidden away and it's almost like a secret door. I really love that idea and I think it's something that will enhance a space if you are looking to kind of blur those closet doors out of existence. It's a really easy way that doesn't have to change the doors, doesn't have to be expensive. It's not like, hey, add a curtain over them, because curtains are just not going to work the same way. They're a little bit dusty and they're kind of inconvenient, as opposed to a door, which is convenient. Maybe you have sliding or mirrored closet doors. This is something that's a little bit different. I don't personally like a sliding door, so if you do decide to replace them, I would definitely recommend opting for those bifold doors that maybe are louvered, or maybe you can paint to match your walls to hide and blend them in, because it will create a look that's a little bit more elevated and something that is just a bit more sophisticated and something that's unexpected. The next ugly home essential that you all have actually asked me about are outlets and plugs and chargers in your bathrooms. What do you do about them? Because we are living in the 21st century and we use electric toothbrushes and razors that we want to charge, but how do you charge that without having to see a charger in your equipment laying out there? Well, there's a couple of options, but there's nothing that's really, really powerful. The first of which is actually having a electrified medicine cabinet installed. I actually like medicine cabinets because they can be recessed into a wall, they're tucked away, but these ones have a lot of options in terms of lighting and outlets installed in them. You can plug your toothbrush, you can plug your razor into them, and you don't have to see it. It's off the counter, it's tucked away. These are a good option. However, they are expensive and they do have to be wired in. So it is something you have to take into consideration when you are doing renovations or if you're building new. But another option you always have is to have an outlet installed under the countertop. This would be a GFCI outlet, which is a safety type of outlet that will trip if any water comes near it. But I recommend having these installed near a drawer upwards so that you're clear of any water coming anywhere near it. But you can then take your chargers and put them into a drawer. That way you have the convenience of having them close, they're near, but they don't have to be on display. For me personally though, in my restroom, I find that I just kind of have to have them out when I need to charge my equipment, my toothbrush, my razor. They just kind of have to sit there, and maybe I only have to do that once a week or once every other week, and then once the battery dies I have to do it again. But for those few hours, sure, the charger sits out there and then I tuck it away so that I can have my razor that's charged and I can keep that in the drawer next to my sink and it's all tucked away and clean and tidy and I don't have to look at it or see it outside of that one period of time that it's charging. And unfortunately, that's not the pretty answer, but sometimes that's just what you have to do to have your razors and your toothbrushes charged. Now, the next ugly home essential that you all have asked me about are actually in-wall air conditioning units. A lot of you have expressed to me that you live in climates that are typically colder, but you do have air conditioning units for in the summer. Well, we live in a climate that is very warm, so we have central air conditioning, which is, completely built in, and we have ductwork and all of that happening, so we just have vents. But you may not be in that situation, and there are a few types of air conditioning units you have asked me about. One are these kind of more modern air conditioning units that are installed in a wall, maybe it's above a door frame. There's not a lot you can do about this because they kind of are just there. I say you just embrace that one, or maybe you paint that area or the walls are white, that way it kind of blends in a little bit. But you also know I'm not the biggest fan of an all-white wall. It's something that if I saw it in a space, it's a convenience factor that I'm not going to be fazed by or looking at or thinking, what's that doing there? It's just the reality of having it. Another thing you all have asked me about are actually air conditioning units installed under windows. Some people have suggested cabinets, which I think is a great idea. What I would recommend is you take the New York City apartment perspective on this. Usually this involves having either a custom built-in cabinet cabinet or a radiator cover used to cover these air conditioning units that are through the wall. That way they're kind of disguised, but you can take the cabinet off to reveal it during the time of the year when you actually need it, which maybe for you is just a month or two, but maybe for somebody else is a few months of the year. If you are fazed by seeing it, maybe that's just the answer, is have a cabinet put there, either paint it a fresh crisp white to match your trim, or paint it to match your walls to help blend it in a little bit. Those are options that will help you, plus you could add maybe a tabletop to it and you have a convenient area to set your plants in the window during the summer months or whatever that is for you. Something like that can benefit you and add to the space. Something else you have asked me about is actually air conditioning control units on the wall. For me personally, I've always just found that I don't really have a lot of options about it. It's kind of there, it's on the wall. What are you gonna do about it? Because you need to be able to control your air conditioning unit. I actually special ordered a brass toned Nest thermostat. I like it. I think it's beautiful. It's just on the wall. It's kind of a circle there. It has to be there, and it's something that every home has, which I think is something important to say, is that these are things that every home has, and people are expecting to see them. Nobody is fazed by seeing them, whether that is a fire outlet or alarm on the ceiling, or if it's a security system. People have them, and we know they exist. So don't be afraid to have it out or be able to see it. Do the best you can to make the most of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to hide or disguise every single thing in your home. Well, everyone, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. I love to hear from my subscribers. What are some other ugly home essentials that you have to have and you have to live with, but you're so sick of seeing? Be sure to share them with me in the comment section down below and share what you do to overcome those, to compensate for them, or to disguise them in your home. Be sure to give this video a like, and I know that you know someone that is dealing with some of these ugly home essentials that you cannot stand seeing, that they cannot stand seeing, and you're sick of hearing them complain about. Send this video to them, because friends help friends, and I will see you in the next one.